Fit 26 in the building.
Hello, team. Right, a few weeks ago, I did a little podcast with my friend Dan over in Leeds. He recorded it. It's a full hour. There's a lot of knowledge on there. There's a lot of nutrition on there. So if you're looking to improve, get in there. Especially listen to Josh in the grey. On the left, he's very intelligent. A lot more smart than me. Right, thank you. Hope you enjoy it. Let me know how you go. Bonjour.
All right. Ready? You all good?
I'm not here.
Oh my god. All right. So,
Episode 2.
Episode 2. Welcome to episode 2. Awesome.
What's
So
the handshakes? That's really weird.
that was the first time we had a big.
We didn't rehearse the handshakes.
It's fine. We just got to do it off the top, man. So, welcome to episode 2 of the Fitness Burrito podcast. My name's Dan Kirion. It's Dan Q. I'm the guy behind the podcast. I'm the guy behind Avante Performance. So this is episode 2. I had a really, really bad intro the first episode. I didn't talk about myself at all. So just quickly, you start a timer, by the way, just so, because I only got I don't know, 45 to 50 minutes left to upload on the podcast platform or whatever. Yeah. We're not that big yet. We're not going 2 hours plus yet. So anyways, my name's Dan. I'm a coach. I'm a PT. I'm a PT mentor for a company. We're not going to name company names today because the people in the room are very important.
Why not? I've already come to mention my company.
You can name yours. But yeah, I work for Pure Gym, so yeah, I'm a regional PT business mentor. I basically just try to help PTs build a business. Again, I covered this on episode 1, but I've been working for this company for the last 4 or 5 years. It's one of the biggest fitness companies in the UK, fitness providers. It is the biggest in the UK. It's one of the biggest in Europe. All these guys, at some point, I used to work with. I'm not going to tell you where, but you could probably assume where. Everybody so far on the podcast, I've been their boss, which is fucking awesome. So yeah, anyways, just have to throw that one in there. So, episode 2, what are we going to talk about? We're going to talk a lot about nutrition. We've got some pretty cool people in the room, I think, that can help us in nutrition. Some more qualified than others.
Some a lot more qualified.
A hell of a lot more qualified.
Yeah. We'll dive into that. Obviously, if you haven't kind of listened to my podcast before, it's all about just helping people understand a little bit more about nutrition, fitness, training, whatever it is, and we just want to help you apply it practically so you can get long-term sustainable results. Sounds good? Sweet. So, on my left...
Let's help the people.
Yeah. So, on my left, I've got a man by the name of Ross Ford. So, I'll give a quick little intro on Ross, and then Ross, you can kind of just go from there. Does that make sense?
That's fine.
So, I've known Ross for... 4 years?
Give or take.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I used to fucking hate him when I first met him. He was the worst. He was honestly one of the worst guys to manage. You know why? Because you were just really honest. And I was a brand new manager and I thought I was pretty good, but I was pretty shit. And you just used to come in and go, you expect me to pay rent? And the gym's not even tiny. And there's not enough dumbbells on the floor. There's not enough this, not enough that. And you used to come in and just absolutely do my head in. And then I was like, you know what? You're just speaking the truth, man. So yeah, Ross is. Are you an athletic therapist?
Sports therapist.
Sports therapist. You've been a PT for years, haven't you?
Yeah.
You worked for Virgin. You worked for Pure Gym. Have you worked independent studios and stuff?
Fitness First.
Fitness
First. Not independent.
Yeah. So Ross has got some pretty cool background. He's really, really funny. Kind of dry humor. Yeah, he got pressured out.
That's funny.
Yeah. But yeah, so, introduce yourself, Ross. Tell the people what you're about.
I'd just like to apologise because now I'm not a PT anymore. I'm now a gym manager.
Okay. Is that a bad thing?
I'd like to apologise to every person who has ever had to manage me. Ever to manage me since I left school in 98. I was a arsehole.
Yeah, don't drop the C word on the podcast.
I know
My mom listens to this.
Oh, don't. Like, yeah, like...
Where are you from, Ross?
East Yorkshire.
Are you sure?
East Yorkshire, yeah. No, well, because if I say where I'm from, no one will know, so I just say East Yorkshire.
Where are you from, though? Drop the name. Drop the name. Where are you from? What town?
Town. I don't live from a town. Literally, my mum's house. If you walk out of my mum's house and walk, you'd not cross another building or village for 2 hours.
So you just don't have a town name or city?
All right, it's called Pollington.
Oh, there you go.
Thanks
for that.
It's next to Snaith, and Snaith is currently underwater.
Sounds fake. But
It's not fake. It's in the Guardian.
Cool. So where do you work now, Ross?
So now I work at a small family-run business. It's the business is called Hub 26.
Yeah.
It's offices, rented spaces,
Yeah.
meeting rooms, conference suites, and then they've got a gym underneath with studio, spin room coming soon.
Coming soon.
Here we go.
£9,000 worth of spin bikes. I just made that figure
more,
up.
more
Okay.
Well,
Sorry.
plus we've had to build the walls, and we've got to order the stereo system and the mics and rah rah rah.
Not messing around.
So it's a really cool working space in that lots of people like to come and use it, have the office, work out at lunchtime, go into the lounge. You can have a healthy breakfast like Zara the chef just makes.
Zara, is that her name?
I think it's Sarah. Sarah. I always get it wrong.
You manage this place, she's probably not.
No, I manage a gym. She works in the kitchen.
Okay.
I'm not the general manager.
You're
I'm the
selling
gym
it.
manager.
You're selling it though.
All right. Well, I'm just saying, it's like a really modern workday workspace. Is that we don't all work in call centres or offices or blah 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 anymore. People like to have a lot of be self-employed a lot more, work through the internet. So
we're diving deep
design
into
it.
the
But
rabbit
it's a
hole.
good place.
Yeah, cool.
It's a great little place.
Wait, how long have you been a PT, Ross?
I think I started 2006.
Nice.
2006.
So 14 years. Nice. All right, cool. So that's a quick intro on Ross. Thanks for that, Ross. Appreciate it.
No problem, Dan.
Next up on my far left, we've got Joshua Massara. He'll tell you, part Indian, part Lebanese, part English, part Scottish. I don't know. He thinks he's
a bit of everything.
Yeah, a bit of everything.
Yeah.
Josh, again, met Josh through work way back in the day. By way back, probably about 2-3 years ago. He's currently an influencer for Pure Gym. So
Less of an influencer, more than insider.
yeah,
Insider.
He's an
Insider.
insider, so
Not
he posts some pretty cool stuff on Insta. He's got a couple followers. He's a big field hockey guy.
How many followers you got now?
Like 3,000.
Oh no, he's
It's
yeah,
nothing.
I think he's
Nothing.
underestimating there. I think it's like 4 or 5.
No, I'm pretty sure it's like 3,000.
Once you get over like 1,500, you're kind of a big deal, aren't you?
I reckon
Oh, yeah.
so. Yeah, I've just gone 1,530.
Oh, you're a big deal too. My God. Yeah. So, anyways, Josh is a manager at Pure Gym. He's been in the fitness industry how long?
About 6 years now.
6 years. He was a PT obviously before that. Still PTs now. Josh, tell the people what you're about. Where are you from?
Good old Somerset. So born and raised in Taunton.
Don't ever say that again.
Not a good farm, but so born and raised in Taunton, then came up to Leeds.
Taunton.
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 Not T's.
Okay.
Taunton.
Mm-hmm.
Came up to Leeds after university. Worked as a fitness coach at David Lloyd.
Nice.
Oh, it's nice there.
Yeah,
It's
really
very nice there.
Not cheap though.
No.
After David Lloyd, started at Pure Gym. So me and other Josh, which you'll hear in a minute.
If he wants to,
If he wants to.
He wants to.
He
wants
does.
to,
He does. Big build up now.
Yeah.
We were there before the club even opened, I've been there ever since. I think it's the 6th year now
Nice.
at Pure.
Nice.
So yeah, man.
Josh,
just
you're
managed the club, but-
probably in the biggest club in Leeds, and Leeds is a fairly big city. You got the flagship clubs. All eyes are on you, aren't they?
biggest city centre club for sure.
It's a pain in the arse because all the bigwigs are upstairs and come down at lunchtime, so we can't do anything.
No, you got to be on the ball. Cool, awesome. And then lastly, to my right, probably the most qualified man in the room, we have another Josh Ginley. Josh again was his gaffer for a bit. It's funny, everybody on here Yeah. Anyways, yeah. Josh,
I was self-employed when you started.
Yeah, that's fair. So I wasn't really your gaffer, was I?
No.
Okay. But yeah, Josh is a very knowledgeable guy. Probably one of the more knowledgeable guys I know. He'll tell you when he's had a few beers. But yeah, he knows a lot about nutrition. Did a master's in nutrition. I'll get him to chat through all that. So yeah, Josh, tell the people what you're about, man. What's going on?
Yeah,
Project your voice. Project your voice here.
I think the room will be able to hear me. What do you want to know?
Where are you from?
I'm from a very well-known town called Dewsbury in West Yorkshire.
Nice. What did you talk to us about your fitness journey, or your journey from where you started to like boxing days? Because I think it's important.
Yeah.
Ross always pumps your tires up.
It's important.
You too.
Yeah.
Put my tires up. Yeah.
And then talk about kind of where you are now. You don't have to name the company and all that kind of stuff.
No, it's fine. I was pretty fat as a kid. So
Why are you laughing?
why are you laughing?
I didn't know that. It's just the way he said it. What's your BMI?
I
Did BMI top out?
I don't think we even used it back in those
Did you get a
days.
disabled parking spot?
No, I didn't at that time. But yeah, I was pretty fat as a kid, so my dad was friends with a boxing coach at the time, and he kind of threw me in a boxing gym.
Yeah.
So that was kind of my first, I guess, introduction into the fitness world.
How good were you? This is what the people want to know. Just like football, you drop the sport, you want to know.
I'd say decent amateur level. I lost weight and then got into the competition side of it.
I don't think the full story's there. Is it, Ross?
I've heard rumours.
Yeah, so do I. What are the rumours?
We were trained at Sheffield in the Institute of Sport.
Is that correct? Can you confirm that, Josh?
I trained down there a couple of times.
Yeah, but think about all the boxers in England.
My club was my home club after it moved was the then Cleckheaton Boxing Academy, where I spent. God, it must have been about 13, 14 when I first started there, I think.
Okay.
I had a little bit of a break, I
Yeah.
guess, during an earlier time. Did the boxing for a while. Got to the stage where I kind of fell out of love with the sport a little bit around the same time when I was deciding whether or not I wanted to go to uni. I did go to uni. It was at that time where I kind of put the brakes on the boxing, really, and I got more into the coaching aspect. So at uni, I was the boxing coach there.
Sweet.
Did a lot with the guys on campus, helped run the club itself, and that was good fun. So that was between, I guess, 2010, 2013.
Yeah. I mean, were you or were you not part of the junior Olympic stuff?
No.
Okay. Just thought I'd ask. Okay. You were good though.
I had a few competitions. I'd never say I was anything special.
Okay. Got you. It's all right.
That's all.
We had to ask for the record, didn't we?
We need for the record.
Yeah. Cool. And then you became a PT, didn't you?
Yeah, I became a PT on the back of finishing my first degree. I kind of stumbled into it. Didn't really know what I wanted to do. I'd done a sports and nutrition undergraduate degree, and I guess like so many other people when they step out of uni, they've got that nice shiny certificate and they don't know what they want to do. So I kind of stumbled into personal training, where I spent on paper as a personal trainer just short of 5 years.
Okay, nice. And then what did you do after that?
And then after that, well, during that time I decided to go back to uni, so I did another degree. Did a master's in nutrition.
No big deal.
That was kind of the same reason, really. I wanted a branch to get out of PT. It sounds a bit backwards.
Yeah.
But I always had an interest in other things outside of the training side of the world, outside of the nutrition aspect. I always had a love for the food industry.
Yeah.
So I spent some time finding out about how I can get into that. So I ended up applying for a lot of jobs. I tried to go down the graduate scheme route, which was quite frustrating. I had 17 interviews before I actually got accepted.
Yeah.
In total. And then,
persistence.
Yeah.
How many times did Colonel Sanders take the recipe out? It was more than 17.
Yeah, that's a good story, to be fair. He was in his later days when he found his recipe.
Yeah.
Nice. So
But yeah, now I work in the food industry.
Cool. So what do we got for time, Josh? Because I'm just trying.
13 minutes in.
30 minutes.
13.
Okay,
1-3.
cool. Sweet. So good intros there. Appreciate that, fellas. It's Saturday. We've got a few cans going. Right. We've got a good balance.
I don't like these new cans.
Oh, don't
I don't like them.
Don't talk about the brand. Don't talk about
Why not work out we drop the brand?
Just fuck it. Do it.
Alright, look, 'cause if you drop the brand and it gets picked up, they might send us some.
Yeah, they might send us some. Fine.
Doubtful.
Whatever.
your production value. But these new Brewdog cans are horrible. They taste worse. I want the old ones back. I can see
Debatable. I mean, I think it's nice.
I can see me going on eBay hunting down for old cans.
Start a petition.
Okay. Sweet. So, on that note, let's dive into what the episode is actually about, which is nutrition. So, I think we've got, again, some good minds in the room, some cool, probably perspectives. I think most of us will probably be on the same page, but you never know. You never know. So, we're going to go straight to the discussion. A few topics I want to throw out there. Again, just mostly to help out people like that just don't really know that much about nutrition and how to lose weight or how to gain weight. Excuse me. And then we'll dive into the flavor of the week, which we'll be talking about beetroot juice, baby. Bit of beetroot juice. And I'm not going to lie, I've never had beetroot juice. I don't even know what it looks like.
It's purple.
Yeah, I thought
I
that.
imagine it looks like the juice in the beetroot jars.
Yeah, okay, cool. So,
No?
First question, and I'll throw let's just throw it out. We're not going to go one by one. I just want to have a bit of a laugh here.
Open table.
We're getting pretty big. I'm starting to get a lot of people, asking to sponsor me. So let's just keep it quick, okay? So
Go on with it.
yeah, let's go on. So first question to the room: what are some of the things you wish you would have done differently with previous clients when it comes to nutrition? Not all at once, people. So, what are basically things that you wish you would have done differently with previous clients? I've got a bunch.
Well, yeah, because you've been planning the questions already.
No.
So why don't you lead us in?
Okay.
Why don't you lead us in and we'll come on the back.
So, I think one of the biggest things I wish I would have not done when I started PTing is just be hell-bent on MyFitnessPal, or just think that MyFitnessPal was the way for everyone. And I think now more than ever, and I've chatted through this on a few videos and stuff I've done and like with people recently, but like certain people just don't want to track. Certain people don't enjoy tracking. They don't, like, in terms of like their food, their calories. Yeah. Thanks, man. Thanks for looking out. So yeah, I think in general, not everybody wants to use their phone. Not everybody knows how to use their phone. They don't even know how to track properly. And I think for some people, it's quite difficult to do. And if you don't have a good relationship with food, i.e. maybe you've gone through like a bit of a shit time with your weight and you're very self-conscious, and when you start tracking too much, it becomes a little bit obsessive, things like that. Yeah, I just kind of wish I wouldn't have done that. What do you guys think?
MyFitnessPal, like, my business works with I take beginners on.
Okay.
I just take people who've very rarely been to a gym, they've very rarely got any experience or any knowledge. They're generally a fresh beginner, or they've not been in for a long time. So I generally work on behaviour goals.
Okay, so give us an example of
Like,
what you mean by that.
If I say to them every day, the people who I train the most, what's your fridge look like? And I say, oh, it looks shit. I was like, well, why? And they say, well, there's nothing in there apart from 2 cans of beer, tomato sauce, some mustard.
You got a little mustard though.
And a bit of tomato puree, like one of those rolled up tomato puree.
So what are they making at night with mustard, tomato puree?
No, but I don't know what they're making at night. But my point is like, you need to go shopping. Focus your energy on your shopping behaviour. Have a healthy fridge. That's where you need to focus your energy, rather than onto your phone, calories, worrying about that. I think, from my perspective with beginner clients, you need to make sure that you're exercising 3, 4, 5 times a week, that you are shopping and you're making 3 relatively healthy meals before you even care what's in them.
Okay.
I don't think it
So
matters.
how would you like structure someone starting off and say, I want you to start cooking 3 meals a day? Like, when you say that, what's that look like? Because it's easier said than done.
I mean, obviously everyone's different, and you give them small little steps to go in that they can manage, and they build confidence off the back of that. But for me, MyFitnessPal is right at the top of the mountain.
Yeah, defo. I think so.
For all the things. Oh, I'm burping. I'm burping.
It's a new cans.
I mean, calories.
Lightweight.
Yeah.
Lightweight.
I get what you're saying. I agree with you. I think MyFitnessPal is a tool.
Yeah.
It's a very useful tool, provided you've got an understanding of how to use it and where along in your fitness journey it might actually be important. I think I look back on when and if I ever did use that with certain clients, and like you said there, it has to come at the right point. It's not something you throw in straight away to somebody who doesn't really even understand the value of energy in food.
Yeah.
But then you can twist that on its side, because that's where MyFitnessPal could be useful for maybe a short term. So I always used to have clients look, maybe track their food for a certain short period of time just to teach them that.
Like
so they could, as for a very short period, not where they would use it like consistently and following. Some people write diet plans, don't they? Not doing anything like that.
Yeah.
Almost to highlight to them what you're currently doing from a food habit point of view. This is what that looks like from a calorie makeup.
Yeah.
And I think MyFitnessPal was a really great tool to kind of pinpoint some of that information to clients when they are first starting out, and then you might almost refer back to that at a later stage when they've got more of an understanding around food and what makes up what is on your plate in essence.
Yeah, defo. I think so. Josh,
Yeah, no, I'm the same. I think it.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, no.
I think it's good just as a bit of an eye opener. It gives you that understanding on how many calories is in food, or the food that you're eating.
Or would you start off with a new beginner with it, or in the past have you?
I've not gotten to do it as a beginner. No.
Okay.
I've gone down the whole Ross route. If you can educate them more on the behaviours and stuff from the fridge aspect, that's going to have more of a benefit to begin with.
I think again it depends on the person and when they come in, because when you sit people down and you say, right, what's your food looking like? What's your daily meals? Your average daily meals? Like, do you have breakfast? Do you have lunch? Do you have dinner? If they do, then you can think about what sort of calorie breakdown and what sort of macros.
I thought you were going to stop there.
No,
man.
I nearly went. No, I nearly got disappeared on another tab.
did.
There's a lot of tabs open at the moment. See, you've got me now. Yeah.
I think if you are working with a client and you're having them use MyFitnessPal at an early stage, I think it's almost the bigger benefit is to the coach.
Yeah,
you don't necessarily have to
so.
feed back to the client what you're seeing from maybe a nutrition point of view straight away, but it gives the coach an understanding of, right, like Ross said, what what's going in on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, and let's not forget half the time it's underreported anyhow. So even getting someone to correctly and accurately track a week's worth or even 3 days worth of food in something like MyFitnessPal can be a bit of a challenge sometimes.
Well, that's the thing, people underestimate, don't they?
They do massively, and if you do have that information, I think at an earlier stage it's more beneficial for the coach because it gives you an understanding of what am I working with here.
So I guess the big picture, I think what we're taking out of it is, if you had a client previously, even your clients now, it's not just having a one kind of fits all approach to nutrition, tracking, building habits, building behavior. You just got to find something that works, and there's so many different things out there, isn't there? There's obviously MyFitnessPal, there's food diaries, there's using your hands as portion controls, there's mindful eating, which I wouldn't even say is like a method. I think it's more like self-care when you're thinking about mindful eating. I listened to a really good podcast and the girl was like, it's a self-care method, not necessarily a tracking method. So yeah, cool stuff there. What would you say, again, I'm just throwing a different question out before we move on, but if you look at a pyramid and we say MyFitnessPal is at the top, right? Because obviously MyFitnessPal is the most detailed. We're going to get the most out of it if it's done properly. What would be at the very bottom? Would it be the fridge? Or would it be just understanding what a deficit is, what maintenance calories are, and then how you create a surplus?
Yeah, I don't know. I find I don't worry about anything like that. I'm just like, can you eat 5 fruit and vegetables a day?
Okay.
Some protein, drink some water.
So why is it that Slimming World and Weight Watchers doesn't work then?
Well, how do you know it doesn't?
Well, it does, but like...
Well, does it or doesn't it?
I think short term it does for people, but I think long term it doesn't.
I think this is it. You could ask this question to 10 different people who work in the industry and you probably get 10 different answers. It completely depends on who you've got in front of you, who you're working with. Like for
the art and science of personal training.
I think, yeah, exactly. But Like from what I see from what Ross, the type of client he was working with, it was very much somebody who's, I mean, you'll talk more about this, but it's somebody who's maybe not had the most in-depth knowledge of training, nutrition. It's somebody who's maybe got to a certain age in their life and they're turning around and thinking they want to make a bit of a change. So what can they do to be better than what they've done for the past 10, 15, 20 years of their life? And it does vary. For me, bottom of the pyramid would be the behaviour, would be the adherence to whatever it is that the coach is helping you.
Which is the hardest thing to change.
And it is the hardest thing to change, and that's why it takes the base of the pyramid, because it's the foundation.
If you can change the behaviour and the habits, you can change pretty much everything, can't you?
Well,
that's actually one thing I wish I would have started to look into earlier as a PT, is behaviour, psychology of all that, and the habits of it.
Yeah.
And how to help somebody overcome those, because we can help somebody for 2 weeks and they'll fall off the wagon, won't they?
Yeah, and I, you know what, I don't mind if people go out. I'm not training athletes. I'm not putting anyone on the stage.
Yeah,
like,
me neither.
I mean, it's falling off the wagon, and it's the things that they have set out themselves that they do. And if they're disappointed in themselves, it's like, well, you said you weren't going to do it, and now you've done it. Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
All
right. I think, you know what, we've got more questions to go. That was a good one, though.
What was the answer in the end? Did we come to an agreement there?
I think it's just like I think basically what we're saying is everyone's different. You got to find the right approach to them. You probably want to tackle behaviors and habits rather than tackling like something like, oh, how much protein are you eating every day? Even just for something, someone just starting off. What's your fridge look like? Is simple, isn't it?
Your food environment.
Yeah, food environment, 100%. Cool. Thanks for contributing to that, Josh Psara. All right.
I'm normally the quiet one.
Yeah, second one. So we'll kick it off with Masara.
You do a lot of presentations at level 7.
Level 7.
Well, that's what masters is, isn't it?
Yeah. Masters level 7. Yeah. Okay. What obstacles or barriers do you find are the most common when it comes to nutrition and adherence? So, kind of dive into what we just talked about. But again, what are the biggest obstacles or barriers that we find are the most common when it comes to nutrition? Based on your experience.
I think there's a fine line between an actual obstacle and barrier and then a perceived barrier.
Let's start with Josh from Masara.
Go on, Josh.
Just because I want to get involved.
I think a barrier for them is their understanding on what's right and what's wrong.
Okay. Give us an example. I'm putting you on the spot.
What good calories and bad calories are. There's no such thing as good or bad calories. They're just calories. It's just they're trying to
example that blows it out of the water.
Go on then.
Okay, come on.
No, you go for the example. I haven't got any real good examples, but
go on.
So that is something that, in some cases, I think with young, really active people, they can go, fine. I burn this many calories. I eat this many calories, and this is what I get at the end of the month. Look at me, I'm beautiful. And I recently encountered someone who had found this person on Instagram who had a wonderful figure, worked in a gym, trained day in, day out, trained twice a day, This is what calories are. I'll tell you my calories. This is what I get at the end of the month. Look at me on stage all bright and beautiful. Do what I do. We'll change the numbers for you and you'll be fine. And she was telling me about this diet, and how's it going? She's like, well, I've lost like 1 kilo a month. I'm like, okay. And she's not a small person, she's got weight to lose. So what's on the diet? So I get up and have porridge, and then I take the kids to school, and then I go for my workout. But before my workout, I have cereal. What cereal? Oh, Cocoa Pops. No, but she has Cocoa Pops before she works out. Okay. So she's 21 and she's been a PT since she left school. Fine. So she works out, high level, lots of calories, bangs it out. What's post-workout? Oh, I have cereal again.
She likes a cereal.
Right. And then what? And then it was like a snack. And then it wasn't even a normal tea because she didn't eat a tea with her family. She couldn't eat a tea with her family. She had to eat something out of a box. And then
cereal,
not cereal, but something like something else, something ridiculous. Her kids and a husband sat down at the table and ate ate a normal meal while she went out with the dog and got her steps in. I was like, right, can you just stop eating cereal for a week? Eat the same calories, eat the same everything. Just swap some vegetables out. Put vegetables instead of cereal in that space. She lost 7 pounds in a week.
So, basically, long story short, this girl ate a bunch of cereal. You told her to switch the cereal for veg.
Yeah.
She lost 7 pounds rather than 2, maybe 3 pounds in a month.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Good work, Ross. So, what were her biggest obstacles and barriers?
I don't know what the obstacles and barriers were.
Okay.
Well, the barrier was...
So how does that blow Josh Massara's point on the
No, because he said that calories are calories. And she was eating the same calories, but she was having them from slow release, high fibre, rather than cereal.
Gotcha. So, okay, so that's where we're going.
But that's where I went on that in that example, because that person didn't have a high exercise output. She works behind a desk a lot of the time, but did work out quite frequently, but not running around like this young trainer who, looking at the Instagram profile when I found it, didn't have a lot of experience and a lot of deep qualifications. She'd worked out what macros were and calories were and all those things, but it just didn't fit in with her life. And then when I said, like, you don't see your kids all day, but then when they sit down and eat, you go for a walk.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
I was like, that... ridiculous.
I think that's a prime example of somebody's blueprint trying to fit into. You're trying to push a square through a circle.
Yeah.
What's the saying? Square
So things
through
around
circle
that,
holes.
Yeah.
So I think to your point
working.
though, like calories are calories, right? I think people think, oh, there's bad calories and good calories. Obviously, we could dive into and say, there's more nutritious food compared to obviously food that isn't nutritious. And obviously, we want to help people have a balanced diet. And in theory, if you're in a deficit, you're going to lose weight. So if you have to eat 1,800 calories a day to be in a deficit, and you do that with 1,800 calories worth of pizza or broccoli, in theory, you're still going to lose weight, right?
But that was the theory.
Yeah.
But it wasn't working.
But it wasn't working for her, because when you dive into it, then obviously the nutrients and the micronutrients and the macro, everything plays a part, doesn't it? We've got the masters in nutrition here, so you might as well give us, a little bit more information on this. Like, what's your opinion on maybe a diet that's fairly well balanced, that's got obviously fruit and veg and protein and everything, and then a diet that's maybe just like a lot of junk food, I don't know, just shit really, but they're still doing the same amount of exercise? Like, what is your take?
I think it does depend on how you look at it. On the surface, if you're matching a calorie for calorie diet, you would expect both diets to have, at least in the short term, the same outcomes.
Yeah.
But what's a little bit on the grey side and where it gets really skewed and confusing is what happens on the back of, say, you take the 1800 calorie example you just spoke about there. If you have someone consuming 1800 calories of pizza versus more of a well-rounded balanced diet, that person is probably less likely to eat crap in the days after. If you're taking in 1800 calories of pizza, the likelihood is you've got so many different factors that are playing into that, but you're probably not going to be as satiated, you're probably not going to be having that feeling of fullness for as long, you're probably going to have that affect your short-term behaviour over the next couple of days. You're probably less likely to maybe move around more, actually get into the gym, but it all depends on the person themselves. I think you can look at the science behind it, and really it stems back to what Ross was talking about earlier from that behavioural point of view and who you're working with. You can't negate that.
Yeah.
That has to form the basis of your understanding when you're working with anybody.
Yeah.
What will this person adhere to? What will it take for them to improve their habitual behaviours?
Adherence, that's a big word, isn't it?
On a very small scale. What is the smallest possible change you can make to be better than what you were yesterday, the week before, last year? And that was always the kind of first starting point out for me, and as it is for so many coaches, but often the hardest part as well.
Yeah.
So I often think, when I look back on my experience, the more I learn about nutrition, the less I actually used, and that sounds weird.
Yeah, that's true.
It's very true.
I think the biggest, if we just actually look at the question again, biggest obstacles and barriers, I think your social life. I think a lot of people struggle to adhere to nutrition, especially when they tend to be out with their family and their friends, because it's peer pressure. And I think it's almost weird, and I don't know about you guys, but this happened to me recently. Like, you go out and you're with your friends and your family, and everybody's ordering what they want, and you order a burger, and rather than getting maybe like you know, whatever side most people would get. You get a salad and people look at you a bit funny. They're like, why the fuck are you having a salad? I'm like, why not? You know what I mean? But everybody's just it's almost like people aren't used to you making those decisions and choices sometimes. And then people peer pressure you, and the next thing you know, you're only maybe having 1 or 2 beers, and everyone starts telling you, oh no, come on, have some more. When really, you should probably just say, you know what, no, I'm doing it for me.
Yeah, I'm doing it for me.
Well, it's true though, and I think a lot of people don't have a support system around them, which I think is again a big barrier.
But it's easy for us. Sat around here, it's easy for us. We love running around and being idiots in the gym. Yeah. And well, not you anymore, but but we've always had a healthy interest in sport and staying active and rah rah rah. Whereas if that's not you, it's hard. That change is harder, and that behaviour is harder to get into.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think sorry, mate. Go ahead.
I was going to say, there's so many barriers in the surface when you look at it.
Yeah, we could do a whole podcast on every single one of these questions. I'm just trying to dive into it a little bit and then see if we can.
How about time? Time was a common.
Oh yeah, massive.
A common objection I'd always get to.
I don't have time.
Yeah, I don't have time.
You're on your phone 3 hours a day, but you don't have time.
Don't have time.
Yeah. But again, it's because if you dive into it, like you're addicted to your phone because of the rush of dopamine that's going into your head when you get likes and when you're looking at things and all these little things. You know what I mean?
Love it.
Well, it's true though. So, like, think about how many people listening to this, and it's probably hundreds of thousands because we're that fucking popular. But like, think about it when you wake up in the morning.
In retrospective view.
Yeah. One of the first things people do when they wake up in the morning, and I do it, is look at your phone. First thing, you're addicted to it.
Yeah, because mine wakes me up. Mine's my alarm.
Oh man, you just blew it down.
Sorry.
Okay. Third question: how are we doing for time? Em?
Yeah, we're rambling.
Like 15-20 minutes.
15-20 minutes left.
My best friend lives in Australia. I'm allowed to check Facebook straight away.
Alright, thanks for that.
Okay. Thank you.
Cool, so just quickly, what are your top tips to helping someone who wants to lose weight and gain weight? So, Masara, just give us like 1 or 2 top tips for losing weight, in your opinion.
Simple as eat less and move more.
There you go, you heard it first. Ross Ford, lose weight.
Lose weight. And I've got a PT.
Gotta keep it quick.
My PT working under me, right, went to my director and my boss and said, when he talks to his clients, he doesn't give them advice. Do you know what he says? Yeah.
Oh,
do you know what he says to him? He says, all he says to him is, don't be a dickhead.
What a snippet of advice.
Which I think has come from, I might have extracted that from Mr. Smith on Instagram.
Oh yeah,
potentially, but
so anyways, get to the point.
I think for the point is, don't be a dickhead. You've had your targets set out for you in the session, so closing up, you've agreed to these targets that we've sat down and I've trying to coach you through and developed. So don't be a dickhead.
That's probably the worst piece of advice I've ever had on this podcast. Like, not really. It's just a different way of saying it. I've hurt Ross's feelings. No, I get what you mean, but explain it, because if I'm listening and I'm struggling to lose weight and I'm Ross's top tip is don't be a dickhead, I'm gonna be like, that doesn't help me.
Well,
I get your point of view, but
everyone kind of knows relatively what they should be doing. There's no new things. There's not a lot of new diets out there, and it's like
the how.
But it's the behaviours, mate.
Yes,
the
behaviours.
Habits. So what's another top tip you have that doesn't involve call people dickhead?
I said just don't be one.
Okay. Josh,
don't be one.
Josh, your top tip in terms of losing weight.
My top tip would be to talk about your goals and to find somebody to be accountable to for them. Whether that be a coach, whether that be a friend, whether that be a family member.
Yeah, I like it. Cool.
Whoever it may be.
My top tip, something that I think is massively underrated, and this is why I think Slimming World and Weight Watchers does so well, is find a group of people kind of similar to yours that you can kind of you can speak to daily, whether it's a Facebook group or it's some kind of community. Just get involved with people like that are going to be able to inspire you and motivate you every day. So even when you're having a shit day and you're just struggling in general, it's great to have your coach. You can talk to your coach and your coach can educate you and help you that way. But at least you've got other people as well, especially the people that don't have maybe friends or family members that if you're not watching the video, Ross, just chucking his phone around. I think he's pissed off. I'm not pissed off.
All right, but he wants another go. He wants another go. You're saying Okay. All right. Don't have a shit. You're having a shit day. So part of the ethos of the coaching thing that I say is don't be a dickhead. Is one of the things might be is go to bed. When you tell me that you're going to go to bed, depending on work, you want people. Right. Most people 9 to 5. Example. You want them in bed. Go to bed at 11. And I say, right. What time did you go to bed? Oh, I went to bed at 2 because I was watching Netflix. I was on my phone. Right, did you sleep very well? No. How did you feel when you woke up? Shit. What did you do? I went to Starbucks. Right, then what did you do? Then I went to McDonald's for my lunch because I couldn't be asked and I'd not made the food and I'd forgotten the thing that I was going to do. And
there you go. That's the context you're looking for, Ross.
Thank you. All right,
well, that's a good point.
You kicked me out of it. Go to bed at 11 and all your problems will be fine.
Okay, gain weight. Top tip, Josh Mazzara. Go, quick, off the top.
Strength training.
Oh, it's not nutrition.
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
Eat more calories.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, Ross.
Generally eat more. I'm terrible. Like if someone comes to me and says I want to put weight on, generally I push them to someone else. I say, "Oh mate, I'm really busy. I'm sorry," because I've tried the life out of me. I've read books. I've read books. I can't.
You read?
It just doesn't really. I don't go with those people. So it's been a long time since someone's come to me to actually gain weight.
Okay, my top tip is eat your height in centimeters worth of protein if you can, and don't be afraid to eat carbs in general. Just eat carbs and eat them around your workouts if you're that worried about your carb intake. Josh?
Yeah, I assume we're talking about gaining muscle.
Gaining.
Yeah, I've opted for more calorie dense foods. Throw some peanut butter and banana sandwiches in there, track your weight on a consistent basis. If you're noticing some changes, great, stick to it. Just keep an eye on maybe the rate of that change. You don't want to be putting too much weight on too quickly.
Remember Matt Hoffman used to eat like 2 kilos of yogurt every day.
He did like his yogurt. Shout out to Matt if you're listening.
Oh my God.
I thought his name was Horn.
Yeah, it is Horn.
No, it's not. I call it Hoffman or whatever. I don't know.
It's Horn.
We'll tag you in the show, Matt.
Okay, quick.
Horn.
Again, you gotta keep.
He'll be at home spitting at his computer. These fucking lads don't know anything. Shite out.
Yeah.
What you want? No.
Keep it there. Okay,
Short
quick. We're doing alright. How are we doing for time, Mazzara?
Still good.
Okay, sweet. All right, next one. If you had to pick a fad diet of some kind, like literally, you have to save someone's life by doing this fad diet for a year. Okay, what would it be? Now, again, we're not telling you to do a fad diet, for God's sakes. Like, it doesn't really work long term. It probably works short term for some people. Had a really good chat about with people about this on my story, because most people said it actually does work, or they never tried it and they think it works. Just goes to show you how the fitness industry is. But Josh Mazzara, fad diet, which one would it be?
There's so many.
If you had to pick one though, to save someone's life.
Save someone's life. What are they going from? What are they dying of?
Like your missus is about to have a child, you have to save her life.
Oh.
Like you gotta do it.
Both the lives.
Jesus.
Both their lives, yeah. I know it's deep, but come on.
It is deep.
You've got the whole people will use meal replacement shakes
Okay, cool. Why?
because it's quick and easy.
Sweet, perfect. Ross, next.
Keto or low carb, because I think salmon and avocado is delicious.
Fantastic, perfect. Josh G, what are you going for?
I don't like the question.
He's written thousands of books.
We're not actually being serious. Like, don't
not
do
recommend
fad
it.
diets,
I
people.
know.
But like, if you're gonna do it for a year, you gotta save someone's life.
Well, I've got to do it.
That's what they've got to do. You mean?
No, he has to do it. To save.
Probably, obviously, depending on the context of the person.
Just go. Come on.
Probably lean towards fasting.
Okay, sweet. I would probably say, yeah, probably about the same. Either that or low carb. Just because I think it's easier for me. Yeah. I've kind of done low carb.
Is low carb? Can I go back to low? I didn't think low carb was a natural diet.
Nah,
it's not fad.
It's kind of like a fad.
Can I have
yes,
low carb?
it is.
Can I go back to low carb?
Think about how many people go, oh, I'm a low carb diet, man. And then they're like, I'm struggling though. And
like the classification.
But again, for the record, there's only one nutritionist in the room, which is Josh G, registered nutritionist. We're not actually advocating for you to go do a fad diet, because honestly, it is bullshit, and you're probably wasting your money, and people are making a shit ton of money basically off of you. So don't do it, please.
Do people make money out of fad diet? So do you just Google it
100%.
and do they pay it?
100%.
Who's making this money?
Yeah. We were just saying, like, if we had to, we're just having a bit of fun. Don't actually do it. All right, next question. Yeah, what are your thoughts on fasting?
If you enjoy skipping breakfast.
Yeah, I have people who like come see me and they're like, "Oh, I don't have breakfast." I'm like, "All right, well, just don't worry about it then." Keep doing it if you don't do it, because I don't eat breakfast a lot of the time, if that's what we're classing as a fast.
Most people do it unintentionally.
A fast, we're saying you have a certain window of time where you're eating your calories.
Is that not intermittent fast? Because we do have people who fast, and I follow people on Instagram who just drink water for 3-4 days.
Yes, I think like everything in general. So if we go from just the basic, let's say you have an 8-hour window to eat, all the way up until you're fasting for 3 days. What are our thoughts? Because some people do that.
I find it useful too. I think provided it fits into your lifestyle, it can be a good way to, as a main tool, to lose weight.
Yeah, I think so. You guys?
See how people go. I think you've got that rebound, haven't they? It's like, oh, I didn't eat anything and I was starving, so I ate fucking loads.
Yeah, you get that as well.
Yeah, I mean, I've done intermittent fasting before, where I don't eat till 12, and I eat all my calories between 12 and 8 or something, and it's fine. I actually enjoy it. I don't think it hurts me or hinders my workouts whatsoever.
No, I think a lot of people don't actually realise that's what they do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So they don't. It's like most days at work, I'll get in or I'll get up late, and I've not had my first meal till about maybe 12, 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
So I've done it completely unintentionally.
I think personal trainers are a prime example of that. The guys who start work at 6 o'clock, maybe work until 10, before they turn around and notice they've skipped, their first 5 hours of the day not eating.
Yeah.
I think that's why we, the coaches talk about that more, because it's probably more appealing and realistic to them.
Yeah, and I think, I don't know if I dropped it on last podcast or not, but basically it's just a study just showing that even if you are intermittent fasting and you only eat between 12 and 8 o'clock, that your strength gains and your just like hypertrophy gains won't actually be affected compared to somebody who just eats 3 meals from the minute they wake up in the morning. It's pretty much the same, as long as you're making sure that you're eating and you're working out while you're fueled, if that makes sense. So you don't want to wake up and not eat at all through the day, go do your workout at 3 o'clock, maybe you don't really have the carbs or the energy in your body or whatnot to then train probably as effectively as you could do, if that makes sense. So yeah, it can work, just make sure you're fueling your body. Cool. How we doing for time?
45.
Alright, we can finish on this bad boy.
I want to finish on our day in Amsterdam.
On the what?
Yeah,
we had a day in Amsterdam.
We did. We had an apple pie with some whipped cream.
Fantastic.
And what was it called?
I can't remember.
Something
It's got a number in it. It's got a number in
43
it.
Monkey.
No. Maybe. But I can't remember that place. But don't forget the brunch, the fantastic eggs.
Oh yeah, that was nice.
The walking around.
Everybody else was hungover. Ross and I decided to have a really nice.
Bring in the prequel. We'd gone to Amsterdam for the weekend
for a stag.
We'd gone so hard on the Saturday.
that when I woke up the Sunday morning, I almost shed a tear because I couldn't believe Ross was in bed. Because I actually didn't think he was going to make it home.
I don't know how I made it home.
Yeah,
Navigated the dark streets of Amsterdam back to this random tiny hotel. Got back Sunday, woke up, dragged onto a boat. We had to jump onto the boat because we were too late. The boat was moving as we jumped onto it.
Ate all the sour cream on that boat that day.
Keto, bro. And then we went out, went for a pizza, and those carbs hit me like a ton of bricks. So I'm sat in that room like going, I need to go to sleep. So I went to bed. Everybody else went out. You came to bed. Everybody else was out in Amsterdam having a whale of a time. We woke up fresh as a daisy, texting in the group, where is everyone? No reply. Where is everyone? Come on, let's go for brunch till I wake up. Couple of flat whites.
A little chorizo.
Poaches. You know what I mean? Beautiful hollandaise, Joshua. You'd have loved it. Right? Still no reply in the group. Well, should we go around Amsterdam? Just ended up walking around Amsterdam by ourselves for
a great time.
Oh, what a day.
Pound it.
It's the first time it stopped raining all weekend.
Okay, cool. That's a great story. Thanks for that. We just gotta keep going. I enjoyed that though.
No one cares about
I think we should have a subsection of just Ross's stories.
Yeah. So, okay. Flavor of the week. So, by the way, today's the first day that we actually had burritos.
We didn't get it on camera.
We didn't get it on camera.
I told you to do the slow-mo.
Well, we had burritos.
The slow-mo works really hard.
We had steak, chicken burritos.
Barbecued.
Barbecued.
There's one thing he can do.
He loves a barbecue.
I get
Barbecue.
In any weather.
It's freezing outside, by the way.
This is a great day for Canada.
That's great. Yeah,
It's a great Canadian day.
Okay, so anyways,
Canadian day.
so today's flavor of the week, right? So if it's your first time tuning in, every episode I go and I do a bit of a flavor of the week, because we're called the Fitness Burrito. So obviously put two and two together. Yeah,
See what you've done there.
yeah. And basically what we do is we dive into a little bit of like a research journal article, whatever. We just try to.
I've done my homework.
Science.
Have you done your homework?
And we just try to kind of basically just talk about stuff you probably wouldn't hear about and just help you apply it. And it's just kind of cool. So this one's a little bit deep today. It's probably going to fly over a few people's heads. So
Is it about feelings?
No.
Good.
So it's actually about beetroot juice. All right. Sweet. You guys just killed the vibes. I was expecting.
Yeah, beetroot juice.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
What's that, Dan?
Is it as nice as Elvis juice?
No, it's not. But so beetroot juice. So basically,
Not interested.
the reason I want to talk about it is because there's a cool article on Mass, which you can go check it out. It's really awesome. They just summarize a bunch of journal articles, and they're talking about how beetroot juice seems to improve strength, endurance, performance.
There's a
Cool.
lot of big words there.
So basically, it can help you perform better in the gym. Let's just put it that way. So.
As a personal trainer or as...
Do we even have any idea as to why beetroot juice might help anyone?
Because it tastes so good.
No.
Is it a vasodilator?
Yeah, kinda. Yeah.
Mm.
What was that mean? That flew over people's heads.
So, obviously, when you're in the gym, you're using oxygen, and your cardiovascular health is transporting oxygen to your muscles and carbon dioxide away from it.
Yeah.
If your veins are
Open.
and flexible, more blood with nutrients can get through those blood vessels.
So basically, vasodilation is just a fancy word to say that the blood is probably flowing more effortlessly throughout your body. Is that fair to say, Josh G?
Less resistance.
Yeah. Basically, just saying like it's helping the blood flow. It's probably just almost a bit quicker, or it's the vessel's getting bigger.
Mhm.
Is that fair to say? Expanding. There we go. We got the masters. Got the masters group.
Exactly.
So, just give you a bit of context before. So basically, right, the reason beetroot juice might be fairly decent for performance is because it contains nitrates, right? So nitrates are basically, if we think about nitric oxide, which is a gas, nitrates are basically kind of like, it's like a precursor of
Is
the
it NO?
gas.
Is that nitrous oxide?
Do we have a chemist in the room?
It's NO. I remember when I first qualified as a PT, they brought out this product called NO Explode,
Yes.
Oh,
which is a
Yeah.
vasodilator.
So basically,
The pre-workout.
so
That's
every
a podcast in itself,
Yeah.
that little episode.
So every pre-workout pretty much known to man now has nitrates in it because, again, it probably helps with performance, it makes the vessels bigger, all this stuff, right? So basically, just for a bit of context, so nitric oxide was discovered in the 1700s, and its role in physiology. So physiology, again, is just kind of like the body, right? And yeah, it basically was unknown for a couple hundred years in terms of like how it could improve performance. And then in the 1980s, a few experiments showed that it could play a critical role in cardiovascular physiology, which is kind of what you just said.
That's what I just said.
Yeah, it was you just said. By
You did do your
inducing relaxation of blood vessels, which is kind of what we said. Basically, the blood vessels get bigger, it promotes blood flow. Are you sleeping? So, anyways, right, all we're trying to say is that beetroot juice could potentially improve performance.
Get off the fence.
Yeah.
Will
But
it or won't it?
how much do you think you need?
What if it's
In
concentrated? Is it a little shot or is it a...
So how much do you think you need? I'm just throwing it out there. Milliliters.
What's a milliliter? In terms of a pint. We're talking pints. I know
Oh,
pints.
it's like a tenth of a pint, would you say? I don't even know.
tenth of a pint.
You don't see them. You see them in shops
To
nowadays.
see a significant improvement.
So basically, about 70 milliliters of beetroot juice, okay? If you were to take that, there's evidence
Organic?
to suggest that it could help your performance. What?
Organic,
I
concentrated.
don't think it matters. I mean, I don't know. I didn't fucking do the study, did I?
Alright, well, you read it or not?
No, I did. But I'm just telling you what they said. right? I'm not diving into it. Most people don't want to know the details.
Well, you brought it up. I was talking about Amsterdam.
I know. But anyways, basically, 70 milliliters. Ideally, if you can, you want to preload it, kind of like creatine. So you want to try to take it for 3, 4, 5 days before, every day. If you just take it once before your workout, again, it might help a little bit, but it doesn't help in most people. You want to preload it. And yeah, it's just going to help you with your fatigue. It's probably going to help you pump out some more reps in terms of your workouts. You can get it in like celery, beet, spinach, rocket, arugula. Is that how you pronounce it?
Arugula?
Yeah.
Never know of that.
It's like rocket. You know rocket?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like arugula. So again, if you want to eat like a fairly balanced diet, you can probably get it through that. So fruit and veg.
So if you said to your client, "Don't be a dickhead and eat a lot of vegetables," would you tick that box?
I don't know. You'd have to double check if they're eating the. I would just tell them to take 70 milliliters of beetroot juice, man.
Rather than say, try and have a bit of salad more often.
Yeah, probably, because basically what they're saying is like creatine, right? When you're taking creatine beforehand, you're increasing how much creatine you have in your body, so your body stores it. It's the same thing with nitrate. So if you're preloading your body, you're able to store more nitrates in the body, so that your body can then use it when you're working out.
Yeah, you're talking about this from a performance perspective.
Yeah.
Not an everyday food choice.
If you're just like an average person who doesn't really give a shit if you're gonna pump out maybe 5 more reps in your workout total, then you don't have to worry about it. But if you just want to because you're that health person who wants to try beetroot juice, then fill your boots.
Coming back to Amsterdam, I did have a Bloody Mary. I had a Bloody Mary, and you know what? It's the best drink I've ever had. It's delicious. I'm hooked.
Good. So yeah, you want to just talk about Amsterdam, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay.
No. What happened in Amsterdam?
This is what I was gonna say though. So this is a cool bit. So
the cool bit, right?
This is the cool bit because again, I was gonna dive into detail, but clearly you guys don't give a shit about the detail. So basically, right, when you're taking beetroot juice, listen to this. It's interesting. So you take the beetroot juice, you put it in your mouth, right? There's a bacteria in your mouth that starts kind of basically shaping the beetroot juice kind of components, right? That then help you create nitrate in your body.
Yeah.
But if you take mouthwash, it fucks it, and you won't get the benefits of beetroot juice.
Before or after?
Just in general. So the mouthwash kills the bacteria that, or along the lines, kills something or basically affects something that's gonna affect the beetroot juice being effective. So even just nitrogen in general. So if you take mouthwash every day and you're that guy that goes to the gym and you get all those little small pre-workout shots that might have a bit of nitrate in it and you're hoping it's going to help you pump out a few more reps, well, it's not going to happen because your mouthwash is basically negating that. So you learn something every day.
I'm not a mouthwash guy.
Evidently.
You don't brush your teeth, do you?
I brush my teeth all the time.
Fucking sick.
You know, I never go to the dentist. When was the last time you went to the dentist?
I need to go.
I've got a decade on the go. Well, I've got a decade.
10 years
almost.
Yeah.
Oh my
God. All they do to me is just go.
Oral health.
Check.
That's for a different podcast.
No,
Check.
it's been 10 years, hasn't it? Get the fuck out of here.
No, they're just like, check, fine. Oh, we need to do an X-ray. That'll be 50 quid. Oh, for fuck's sake! Like, there's nothing wrong with it. You haven't done anything.
Yeah. What's the time, Josh?
56.
56. Perfect. Okay,
Nailed
we nailed it. Congratulations.
Thanks,
I've
Ross.
got hands in.
Come on, get the hands in. Get the hands
It's like
in.
the Power Rangers.
We're going down then up.
What are we saying?
Down then up. Oh!
Terrible. Oh my god. I feel like I got corona now. Okay, so just a quick outro. Not gonna lie, that was probably not very helpful for a lot of people. But I think we covered a few bits. So if we just summarize 1 point on nutrition. You've got literally 5 seconds to 10 seconds to say something. Go.
Don't be a dickhead.
Okay, Masara.
Look at your fridge first before.
You just took that from Ross, didn't you?
Yeah.
Gilly.
Find a support network.
Oh, he took mine. And try to just increase your protein intake and don't be so hell-bent on whether fats or carbs are bad for you. Just focus on everything that the other coaches have just said. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed that. Make sure to leave a review. Unless it's going to be shit, don't leave it. If you have any questions...
No, I want honest feedback.
Okay, that's fair, yeah.
You can't do anything without honesty.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay. Ross, where can we find you? Just quickly, where can we find you?
Ross Ford Fit 26.
Perfect.
You'll find me on something.
Massara.
Insta Josh Massara.
Okay. Ginley.
Yeah, you won't find much from a nutrition standpoint anymore, but I'm on Instagram under Josh Ginnelly as well.
Perfect. And you can find me under @Abante Performance.
What's Abante meaning?
It's advanced in Latin. Just cute in it. So Abante Performance. If you need any help, just let me know. Got the online training community now launching tomorrow, which is the 8th.
You've brought us in for the tomorrow big launch.
Yeah, tomorrow's a big launch. I mean, it's not a big launch, but yeah, basically we just got a community of people.
Who's on next week?
No one's
Me
on
and
next week.
Massara.
I think I've got the muscle mechanic. I've got the muscle mechanics. Good old Jerome Sheffer, I think, coming up in the next few weeks.
From Hunslet?
No. He's at Ultraflex.
Alright. Oh, I know. Sorry, wrong Jamal.
Not Jamal.
Jerome.
Yeah,
Jerome.
alright. Yeah, alright.
So yeah, thanks for that.
Thank
Enjoy.
you.
Thanks,
Cheers.
guys. Did you see the England score, by the way?
What was the
Tight,
score?
innit?
It finished 30-33.